Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And we got a show for you. And once again, just like last night, we have beautiful guests for you. Just like last night, Amanda and I are beginning to feel a little bit left out of the beautiful crowd.
What? Rude.
Well, maybe
I like my eyeshadow today.
Maybe I should just say me. I'm beginning to get felt out about this whole crowd thing. All right, we're going to have a great show for you. I did make it just barely from planning and zoning, which I'll give you an update on that once we do all our ads and our reads. So really fun show here. Levi's with us today. We got all kinds of updates on his current health trend. I don't know if it's a fad or it's reality or whatever, but we're going to talk about it when we get him. We got the whole talk coming.
I'm ready to do it. I'm excited.
It's a historic reality. There's that.
It is historic, and we have Captain Jack on online if we need him to come help him.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Right. He used to be a paramedic. Okay, cool. Just in case. Okay. All right. Let's get real for a second. Finding a great dentist is like finding the perfect beach spot in St. Augustine. Rare, refreshing, and absolutely worth it. Enter Dr. Stephanie Kinsley and her team at Palencia Dental, where going to the dentist feels more like visiting a spa than sitting in that dreaded chair. And Dr. Stephanie isn't your ordinary dentist. She's a community superstar. She's not transforming smiles at Palencia Dental. She's singing her heart out at the Village Church Choir, volunteering her time as the director of dentistry at our favorite wildfire clinic, providing dental health care to those who need it most. This is someone who doesn't just care about your teeth. She cares about you. And let's talk about the experience at Palencia Dental. From the moment you walk in, you'll wonder if you accidentally booked a luxury retreat. Relaxing atmosphere, check. State-of-the-art technology, double check. And a dentist who can sing and make you laugh while crafting your perfect smile. That's a triple check. So give them a call at Palencia Dental, 904-826-4343, and book your appointment today. Again, Palencia Dental, 904-826-4343.
Absolutely. Save your seats now, folks. Swan Lake by Dance Alive National Ballet on Saturday, March 8th at 7:30 p.m. at Lewis Auditorium at Flagler College, 14 Granada Street in downtown St. Augustine, Florida. Tickets are $40 for adults, $5 for students and children. Tickets include free parking at the St. Johns County Council on Aging with a complimentary shuttle to and from the venue. Definitely want to check out this show. It's going to be amazing. It's in a local venue. These concerts, the Emma Concert Series always goes to supporting students with scholarships. So definitely check out Swan Lake by Dance Alive National Ballet Company, Saturday, March 8th, 7:30 p.m. in Lewis Auditorium. Get those tickets today.
All right, we've got Solar Stick Inc. Established in 2006, Solar Stick is a local portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing, constant innovation, and creating jobs right here in St. Augustine, Florida. Solar Stick's focus on providing solutions for self-sufficiency helps users all over the world complete missions and save lives. Solar Stick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing.
All right, in A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, they offer free estimates and have been serving the St. Johns County area for over 20 years. A to Z offers painted metal roofs for saltwater homes with warranties up to 25 years. And they offer shingle roofs with warranties up to 50 years. A to Z also installs tile roofing, cedar shake shingles, designer roofing, and flat roof coverings. Recent job photos with material descriptions can be seen at A2Z.com, A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing.com. Give them a call, 904-669-8037. Chuck McCone and his staff, great folks, do a lot of roofing for me. I can tell you they do an amazing job.
They are doing the roofing at the new Home Again site. I saw their sign.
They are. They're doing it for Damari Construction. I'll give them a shameless plug because they are the builder of that project. And they've done a really good job over there. And it's awesome. Fun working with somebody who you've competed against for a long time, but you're doing a really good job for an organization that's awesome and glad to have them over there.
Now you're kind of giving him orders, right?
I did kind of give them some orders, but it's been nice working with them. Ray, their project manager, and Blair, their superintendent, have been great.
So if you can't afford Mike Davis, AD Davis Construction, Damari Construction is your crew.
Yes. Yes. So anyway, we have Levi in today.
Yes.
What hour and minute of your journey are you on right now?
Oh, I'm done.
You're done.
I finished it. Yep.
All right.
Okay. So what exactly did you do? Because I'm never going to do this. So tell me all about it.
No, you need to do it.
It actually feels really great to fast.
Did you do it?
I haven't done that long. I've done like 2 days.
2 days of
I've
fasting.
maxed out at 2 days.
Okay.
So I did a 72-hour water fast.
Okay.
And I'll break it down for the people real quick. This is my second go around doing it. I did one last year. My goal is to do it twice a year. Right now I'm on the once a year train, right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So basically what it is it's exactly what it sounds like, a water fast. And I started with 16 ounces of bone broth at noon the first day, then 16 ounces of bone broth at 6 p.m. that same day. And then from the next, however long it took to get to 72 hours, was just 3 liters of water a day, kind of spread out over the day. And the benefits of this, of the main people are like, why would you just do water and not eat? The benefits of it, there are a ton of benefits. There are positive side effects as well. I will say this, if you're ever going to think about doing it, consult a doctor first. Don't just jump into it, because if you have certain health or medical issues, it's not recommended to do a water fast. But the main benefit and the reason I did it was we have these cells in our body called zombie cells. And there's a scientific term for them. I don't know what the scientific term is, but the normal term is zombie cells. And basically what a zombie cell is it's a dormant fat cell in the body that cancer will grab onto, mimic the protein, and then spread that way. And by fasting for a prolonged fast of up to 72 hours, you can help your body literally replenish itself cellularly and get rid of these zombie cells. That's the main reason I do it. There's other great side effects of it. You get autophagy in your muscles, and you get stem cells. Your body's been shown to produce massive stem cells, HGH, fat loss. What happens is around hour 30, your body goes into ketosis. And that means it's using ketones for energy. And it stops using carbohydrates and the food you've been eating and starts literally using its own fat for energy source. That's a survival mechanism that we all have in our natural biology. And that's where all the magic starts to happen. So from around hour 30 to hour 72 there's stages that you go through, but all that good stuff is happening. It's basically just a clean reset of the system. And that's why you do it.
So Barbara Jean wants to know what bone broth is. So what is bone broth?
Oh, just like beef bone broth. Just like the regular beef broth that you can buy at the store. You can, Kettle and Fire is the best one. It's also the most expensive, like they always are. But it doesn't have any preservatives in it or anything like that.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yep.
Have you had bone broth? I think we've had, Darcy's probably put that in different soups and stuff that we've had. So I'm sure.
Yeah, you get all the good stuff from the connective tissue and the bones in it. It's slow cooking bones and connective tissue. And so it's like broth. It's like what you get in soup, but it's just more intense. So you're trying to render out as much as you can from the bones and the cartilage and ligaments and all that.
So 72 hours for you.
72 hours. Yep.
48 hours for you. Is that what I understood?
That's
Amanda?
what I maxed out. Yeah.
That's what you maxed out. Did you tap out? Were you trying to get a 72 or were you just trying to get a 48?
I was trying to do 24.
And forgot what day it was because you're dehydrated?
When I did the math of it, it was like, oh, I actually did like 48 because I stopped eating. Like when I had an early dinner and then I had a really late dinner at the end of my fast. And so it ended up being like 48 hours.
If it's 48 hours, one was a breakfast and the other was breakfast too, 2 days later. So I'll just know. So 24, I did a 24-hour one. We had one at church. A bunch of people did it. I chimed in. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad.
But it's not something I'm like Jones to do. But I have heard the information about it stresses your body and it causes your body to actually use fat cells. Because a lot of people don't realize sometimes your body doesn't use fat cells when it needs energy. It pulls it out of other cells that you're like, wait, if I'm trying to lose weight, you're actually getting rid of muscle or you're getting rid of anything but fat. And the fat's still there. It hasn't tapped those resources.
And that's a popular thing that people do it for, is to lose weight, because you do lose. I lost 8 pounds, right? And you lose a lot of weight really quickly. But if you don't replenish your body afterwards correctly, your body just puts the weight right back on. So you can't just go eat ice cream right afterwards or go eat pasta.
Then just what's the point?
Well,
Why even do it?
So
I'm just kidding.
So some crazy things that happen are you get like a euphoric feeling about mine came. So the first time I did it, which was 2 years ago, my euphoric feeling didn't come till the third day. So that third day I woke up, I wasn't hungry at all. I was shocked. Whereas day 2 from hour like 40 to like hour 50, all I could think about was food. I was like rummaging around the kitchen. My girlfriend's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm just walking around. Like, you guys are eating Chick-fil-A on the couch. It smells good. Like, all I can think about is food."
Chick-fil-A in front of you?
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I would have gotten new friends. I can tell you that right now.
Exactly. And so what was interesting was I didn't experience that euphoric feeling to the third day. This time I experienced it on the second day when I woke up.
Yep.
Wasn't hungry at all. And I didn't have that crash feeling or feel like tired or anything. I was completely euphoric. I even wanted to go work out. I actually went and worked out on it. And it's like, it's mental clarity. One thing I noticed was that all the inflammation leaves your body. So like my knee, I've had knee surgery, so I have scar tissue buildup and stuff in my knee. And all that pain, that aching that I get from when I work out on that knee is completely gone. And so that's an interesting thing.
Did it come back?
No, it hasn't come back.
Okay.
I tracked it on my Whoop too. And I noticed that when the first time I did it, I fasted. I timed it to where my fast didn't break until the following morning. This time I broke it at night and I ate last night. Well, my recovery and my sleep was terrible because I ate food and my body was processing the food.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't eat soon enough. I think I waited till too late at night and didn't give my body enough time to process the food. But my sleep was terrible last night because it was digesting food the whole night.
So, and I there's a lot to that, right? So there's different times we eat dinner usually later than 7 o'clock, right?
Right.
And a lot of times I'm in bed by 9:30. I have found watching, I have a Garmin watch. So it'll track sleep, but it also tracks what it calls your body battery.
Yep.
And if I have any amount of sugar after about 8 o'clock, if I have anything after 9 o'clock, I'm toast. My sleep is horrible. My heart rate is higher. My body battery never recovers. And it's the sugar that I'm putting in. Now, if I have a piece of dark chocolate cacao, which doesn't have as much sugar and it's just more dark chocolate, I get pretty good sleep those nights.
Yep.
But it has taken me a while to kind of figure that out. If I have a couple of drinks, having 3 cookies mimics having a couple of drinks.
Yep.
Yeah.
It absolutely does the same thing to your body. You're putting that much sugar in your body and your body goes, nope, we're not going to process this well while you're sleeping.
In the longevity community, from all like the science-backed data for longevity science, they recommend eating between 5 and 6 p.m. That's what they say should be your last meal, 5 and 6 p.m. There's some data that says, you can go as late as 8 p.m., but definitely not after 8 p.m. Yeah. So, and that's just for your body.
My question for that is, what time are you supposed to go to bed? Because I think when you go to bed also informs when you should have your last meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the rule of thumb is 3 hours before bed.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah. All right.
3 hours before
a lot
bed.
of the stuff I've read too, though, and this is over the years, and I do agree. People are commenting in the comments. Levi did say, and we all say this. Levi's telling you what he did.
Yeah.
Levi is how old?
34.
And how good a shape are you in on a scale of 1 to 10? 11 is an acceptable answer.
Are we comparing me to like the average person?
Yes.
I take my health very seriously.
Yeah. So we're going to put Levi up at the top of our scale. So those of you that are listening and say, hey, I might want to do this. His advice to talk to your doctor is the advice we all have for you, right?
Yes.
Go talk to a doctor. Don't, if you're 90 years old listening to this, first of all, we're glad you're here. But 2, don't do this without talking to your doctor.
Correct.
So,
Correct. Yeah. Especially if you're on like blood thinners and all kinds of stuff like that.
And if you're living by yourself, definitely don't do this because there's nobody there to help you.
Yes.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? I was fortunate enough when I was traveling with my brother to be able to talk to a whole bunch of high net worth individuals.
Yep.
And the one thing I always wanted to ask people when we were in these rooms was, what's your one advice that you would give your younger self?
Yep.
And all these high net worth individuals told me that health is the number one thing, because if they're not healthy themselves, they can't take care of their family. And as we all know, when you hurt an ankle or a knee or an elbow and you're not healthy, all you can think about is getting back to being healthy. When you're sick, all you can think about is, dang, I want to feel better. So put your health first. That's my number one thing. And whether that is a 3-day fast for you or whatever it looks like, just talk to your doctor, get blood work done, put your health first, because we are making America healthy again. We got RFK in, finally confirmed. They had the Maha meeting last night in Mar-a-Lago. So,
well, one of the I'm going to give them the 15 Universal Truths of Life by Troy Blevins. I'm going to have to write them all down now. But one of his main ones is if you can't take care of yourself, whether that's financially or physically, you can't take care of anybody else.
Nope.
You have to be able to do that. So the number one thing is be able to take care of yourself so you can help others.
It's just like when you're in an airplane and the oxygen masks come down and they say, put yours on first before you help everyone else.
Yep.
Got to take care of yourself first.
All right.
In other news, I'm going to have to resign from all of my positions, Mike. This is me tendering my resignation. I need to put my health first.
Hey, but I got to ask, name the job. Am I the most, let me ask it a different way because I want you to out a job that's stressful. Am I the most stressful job that you have or the least stressful? Okay, don't answer. It took too
Depends
long.
on when you're traveling a lot. It's way more stressful when you're traveling a lot. I have lots of very stressful jobs, and the most stressful, I can't quit. So that's reality.
All right. So you brought up something else about health and taking care of yourself in the airline. So I've been watching the memes on the Toronto Delta or Delta Airlines crash in Toronto.
Yep.
And some of the video is amazing to watch. The fact that everyone got out of that plane, I think there were 2 people with critical injuries, but they were expected to be okay. I hope that they were okay. But the comments online is Delta will not release who the pilot and co-pilot are. So that immediately leads to speculation that it's an inexperienced crew. And that it might be a crew that was hired.
Well, you haven't seen the latest on that?
I have not seen the latest on that. Because I've been in a planning and zoning meeting since about 1:30.
I'm fact-checking this.
Yeah.
So you keep going.
Well, and for me, I don't, Delta saying they're experienced pilots. I could care less about the ethnicity or race, sex, religious background of a pilot. I want a competent pilot. I want a competent pilot. And if it takes X number of years to become a competent pilot, I want them sitting in the co-pilot seat with a competent pilot so that when they finally get the plane, they know what they're doing. I can tell you, I'm not a pilot, but when I look at how iced over that runway was, I wouldn't have wanted to land on that ice runway.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm looking at that going, I don't care who was flying the plane, they're far braver than me. Because I might have gotten on the mic and said, is there an experienced pilot on the plane to land this, right? Because that just did not look like great flying conditions.
Well, yeah, and that's so my girlfriend's sister is a Delta flight attendant, and we spoke to her about the situation, and what she heard through her grapevine was that it was obviously terrible conditions to try to land. There was very high winds, and the plane came in sideways, and that's what happened. It came in sideways, landed sideways. The landing gear went out, and then it went into a ditch and rolled.
Okay.
So that's what I got from the inside sources at Delta.
So if I'm reading what you're saying is some of what happened is not pilot error, it's conditions.
It's conditions,
It's conditions. Okay. And I'm not putting any blame on the pilots, right? And again, I don't know who the pilots were. The fact that if they were that pilot, I mean, what was the movie with Denzel Washington? And I didn't watch all of it, right? But he managed to do a 360 in the plane and land it, right? They were able to have everyone walk away from them. That is absolutely amazing, in my opinion. So I full credit to them and to the entire ground crew in Toronto that responded to this thing, got the fire put out, and all the passengers. I am sure that there are stories that are going to come out of this of some passenger getting out of their seat themselves and then helping other people get out. There's no way that many people don't walk away from this without a couple of people being heroes and helping other people.
Exactly.
It just doesn't happen.
And that's, when we as humans face these horrific incidents like that, right? In the heat of the moment, your natural instincts take over. And I like to think that the majority of humans have that natural instinct to help others.
Yeah.
And, we see it time and time again. We saw it with the World Trade Centers. We saw it probably with this situation. We just see it time and time again. When real tragedy strikes, we put all our differences aside and we come together to make sure everyone is okay.
Yeah. So I just went through and fact checked. There's lots of sources reporting the same thing. Delta flight 4819 is the flight that landed upside down in Toronto. Many Delta flights are serviced by other airlines.
Yeah.
This flight was serviced by an airline called Endeavour Air. and they are very proud of what they call their unmanned flights. They're very proud about having all females on the crew on the plane. And so these social media posts where they're bragging about women in aviation are now their unmanned flights. Hashtag girl power. These are getting new scrutiny in light of this new crash.
Yeah, I mean, a crash is never good, whether it's because, I mean, did they crash the plane because they're a woman? Probably not. Like,
look, I again, I don't attribute that to being it, but I'm going to tell you, you put a bullseye
on yourself.
on female pilots, minority pilots, when you say this is what we're doing and then something bad happens. People out there that are always looking to get a little bit of airtime are going to come out there and say, well, that's the reason why.
right.
We don't know till you do the investigation. And again, I'm giving them hats off because everyone walked away. I have no idea what the cause was. I have no idea how well they acted or didn't act. We're going to find all that out over time. But the fact initially that everyone walked away from this darn thing, hats off to everybody on the crew that made that happen. I mean, I didn't mention that. I have no idea how well the stewardesses did, but I mean, they had to be helping people out of that plane as well.
Traumatizing, the whole thing.
The flight crew, the whole thing. So for me, I got a lot of kudos to people that as far as I know right now, did above and beyond in helping everyone walk away.
So I was supposed to fly to Detroit on Friday.
Did you cancel?
My girlfriend canceled. She already has bad flight anxiety and has her whole life. And I was maneuvering it very well over the past 3 years, and I had gotten her better. She flew to Italy by herself. Like I got her better, right?
Yes.
Granted, the fact she was in first class, she got to lay down, plays a big role in it.
Yeah.
But when all these crashes started happening and these planes started falling out of the air, she canceled it. She was like, we're not going. And I was like, she's like, I'm not going to ruin because we're going for our anniversary, which is Valentine's Day. She was like, I'm not going to ruin our anniversary by getting drunk in an airport so I can get on a plane.
So how was Palatka? Did you have a nice dinner there? Because it's a drive to there.
We didn't go to Palatka.
Oh, Elkton. You didn't go all the way to Palatka? You stopped at Jim's Pizza? Come on, man. Splurge a little bit.
If you had to guess where I took her, what would your guess be?
I would say Ruth Chris.
No, I actually took her to Lotus Ramen Bar downtown, the new one.
Okay.
By Village Inn.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think Troy had something to do with that.
Looking back, I wish I would have just went to Village Inn. That place is expensive. Village Inn was running like a 2-for-1 special. I was wondering why the parking lot was so packed, and then I saw a commercial.
My mom was Catholic, and my dad initially would generally take her to. I'm trying to think of the place, and I'll think of it. It was on San Marco. It's right where the Ace Hardware is, or right next to where that was, and Subway. And I can't think of the name of the place. She told me so many times, but it was always Friday night. Mom couldn't eat meat. And it was a barbecue place. And she's like, I swear once he figured it out, he was taking me there so he didn't have to pay for the second dinner.
That's so funny.
Because she couldn't eat meat. And Shivers Barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, before Kathy Arada tells me what it was.
And just to circle back, the reason people are giving hate about the unmanned flights, social media presence is the argument is that they cared more about the gender they were hiring rather than the competence or the quality and the level of experience. So if you're firing a bunch of male pilots just so you can have female pilots and they're all brand new and they're all rookies, then that's where the criticism comes in. Not the fact that they're actually girls, but whether or not they were competent and experienced.
See, and here's the thing, I get people interviewed for jobs and maybe 10, 12 jobs in their lifetime, maybe more, maybe 20, right? But I can interview for that many jobs in a year. I have been awarded a job because I'm young. I have been denied a job because I'm young. I've been awarded a job because I'm a man. I've been denied a job because I'm a man. I've been awarded a job because I was busy, and I've been told you're too busy to have my job. So, and at every instance, I either said, thank you very much, or I appreciate the opportunity, and off I went. Yeah. Right? You get some and you don't get some. And I always like to people, if you think your boss is going to discriminate against you, don't go work for him.
100%.
They don't deserve you to work for them. Go find a boss who appreciates you and don't go to work for that boss knowing that it's going to be a problem and then sue them and think you're going to fix the problem. Yeah. You've just extended pain and suffering and mental anguish in your life over a number of years until the lawsuit's over. Go find somebody who appreciates you and go excel and then shove it back in the guy's face who didn't hire you.
I agree.
Well, I've been in the position where I may or may not have been wrongfully terminated for being pregnant, actually. And so lots of people were telling me to sue, and there just came a point where it's like, I don't want that kind of energy. I don't want that kind of stress in my life. Like, was I able to do the job that had been created for me at the same level, regardless of whether I was pregnant or not? Like, was I able to? No, I wasn't. And it was a position that was created just for me. So whether I was a protected employee and it wasn't legal to fire me, I wasn't able to do the job. So I'm not going to sue the man for saying I couldn't do the job, because it was a very physically demanding position. And I'm like, I'm not going to sue him for that. I just can't.
Well, bull riding's really not a good profession for somebody who's pregnant. I didn't want to tell you that when you told me what the job was. But
I know, but my memoirs are shaping up nicely.
No. So I saw that. Florida Man games. So if you haven't bought tickets for Florida Man games, buy tickets for Florida Man games. Pete is working his...
Are there still tickets?
I don't know. You want to look it up and find out and let us know?
I can text.
You can look it up. Find out if we still got tickets. If you don't still have tickets, ask Pete where the black market is, where he's selling them for 5 times the face value. You know what the hack
is? If tickets are sold out, volunteer.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
Yep, volunteer. And then someone, Barbara Jean, I think, asked if you and I were going to be there. I am out of town. Mm-hmm. I have a fraternity get-together that I've always gone to for 34 years, and last year I was out at a conference I had to be at. This year I'm there for that. Mm-hmm. So once again, I've dubbed myself the designated survivor, and you are trying to get there, but may have to work.
It's an evolving position for me. I mean, I can't. We'll see. I may or may not be there.
Yes.
There are still tickets.
Okay, so there are still tickets. So if you don't have tickets, get tickets. If you know somebody who needs tickets, tell them to go ahead and get the tickets so Pete can breathe a sigh of relief knowing it's sold out weeks before. He needs to know it's sold out weeks before. All right, I'm a huge Gutfeld fan.
Yes, you are.
So I watched Monday Night Show yesterday, which was Tuesday.
Because you record it.
Because I record it.
On the DVR.
On the DVR. I just hit record on the TV. I don't know what you call that. I just recorded it. So I watched it. I'm going to tell you the joke, and I'm going to see if you guys get the joke.
Okay.
I think Levi's got about a 3% chance of getting the joke.
Okay.
I think Amanda's got about a 50%. So it's an ageism joke.
Okay.
Okay. So Michael Loftus, who I think is one of the best guests that they have on there all the time, Gutfeld always introduces him as Melissa Estridge. Mm-hmm. Or a homeless Melissa Etheridge.
Okay.
So and he's a very funny comedian. They got talking about Doge, and that Elon Musk had been invited by Rand Paul to go take Doge and look into Fort Knox.
Yep.
Because it's in Kentucky. Kentucky is Rand Paul's state, right? So he says, come look at it. So Mudge says, we're gonna send Doge down and take a look at this. Michael Loftus had the best take. He said, whatever you do, don't send Geraldo Rivera with Elon Musk to open the vault, because there won't be any gold in the vault. It'll all be gone.
Yep.
And then he said, for years, all the gold that was stored there could have been taken out and no one would have known, because no one's really gone in there and looked to see if the gold's actually there.
Right.
He said, if we have satellite photo or pictures this weekend of people at Fort Knox painting bricks with gold paint to put them back in the vault, we're going to know that all the money was gone. But do you get the Geraldo Rivera vault story?
I don't.
Okay. It's okay. There's things you talk about I don't, so it's all right. So back in probably the early 90s, when Geraldo kind of had a career and wasn't washed up, they found what they thought was Al Capone's secret vault in Chicago. So Geraldo Rivera gets a crew. They're going to
86.
86.
Yeah.
They're going to knock through the wall to get into, I was in college when it happened, because we joked about it in college for forever. They were going to break through the wall, have a TV crew there, and find all of Al Capone's money that he had hidden from the IRS and everyone else. So, they had a hard time getting through the wall. So it wasn't as easy as they thought. So they thought this will be an hour special. So they kept breaking it up and trying to make it interesting. And if you've been on a construction site trying to tear down a wall, it's one of the most boring things in the world, right? Even when it's torn down, you still got to get all the junk out of there.
Right.
So they finally get through where Geraldo can get through and find Al Capone's treasure. It was completely
Empty.
Nothing.
There was nothing there. So for years, if anybody joked about Al Capone's vault and Geraldo was there, you could just visibly tell he was seething. He was just,
He was a madman.
He built this thing up. This is going to be the greatest online TV experience of anyone's life. At least watching a Mike Tyson's fight, somebody got knocked out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Except the last one.
Yeah, but this one, yeah. So anyway, it was very funny. So we should not send Geraldo down there to take a look.
No, he's not our man.
My thought process was completely different from that, so I'm glad I didn't say what I was thinking.
Is it okay to say it, or should you just keep it to yourself?
I'll just keep it to myself.
Okay, all right, perfect.
That's funny.
No, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So one of the other things, and I'm glad you're here today. I got an article online this morning talking
and every Wednesday.
And every
I was so sad I missed last Wednesday, by the way.
So
honestly,
were we.
It killed me.
So are we.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Listen, you've got the best ratings on Rumble.
Hey,
You've got the
let's
best
go, Rumble.
ratings of all of our shows consistently. Levi shows on Rumble have the best ratings.
Yep.
We love Rumble. They're a great format to be able to express yourself.
Rumble's the future.
Yes,
For
and
sure.
speak freely. Sorry to all those censors that are listening to us on Facebook that are about to tank us, but
Sorry, not sorry.
we're not sorry.
Threads.
So I'm not even saying that anymore. I don't care anymore. I really just don't. So this talks about men being lonely and the percentage of men that are currently lonely or don't have friends. So the men in friendship represent the percentage of men who report having the following number of close friends. So, and then all the numbers from 1990 were pretty low. All of them in 2021 have changed dramatically, right? So 0 close friends, maybe 5% in 1990. Today, it's about 15% of men say they have 0 close friends.
Okay. What was it in 1990 again?
About 5%.
Okay.
1 to 2 close friends, about 11%, said they had 1 to 2 close friends. In 2021, that number's up to number of close friends about 18%. Okay, so a little bit better in that. 3 to 5 close friends, we're doing better than we were 21 years ago, 31 years ago, right? But 6 to 9 close friends, it begins to retreat. 6 to 9 close friends used to be 15%, now it's about 12. 10 plus close friends used to be 40% for men back in 1990. Now it's down to 15%.
Yep.
So my question is, how many close friends do you think you have? I mean, I answer mine, but how many close male friends do you think you have?
What are we calling a close friend?
I would say somebody you talk to on a regular basis.
Someone I invite over for the Super
Yes.
Bowl?
Well, that's kind of really personal, but yeah.
Okay. I have well over 10 then.
Yeah.
But I'm also a very outgoing individual. Like, I reach out to people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, that you have to make a conscious effort to reach out to people to keep that friendship alive, because as people's lives take over, they get married, they have children, they get careers, like it dwindles away.
Yeah.
Like, crazy thing that I always think about is, like, when you're with your boys in high school or whatever, you never know when the last time is you all are going to be together.
Mhm.
And so, like, it's something that you're used to doing, like once a week, twice a week, whatever. And then it slowly creeps up. The last time comes and no one even knows it's the last time. And I always think about that. I'm like, dang, I never knew that was going to be the last time. Like, how would I have treated that situation differently if I knew it was going to be the last time?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you, last time is one, the friends is another. So let's do the friend comment you made first. And I think I have a ton of friends.
Yeah.
The cool thing about really, really good friends is you might not see them for years.
Right.
But let's say the last time you saw somebody was the night of high school graduation.
Yep.
You might see them 10 years later. It is literally the day after high school graduation. Right.
Yep.
10 years have passed, but you're in the same exact spot that you were.
Yep.
And to me, that's a really good friend. It's the reason I go down and play golf with all my fraternity brothers. Some
Yep.
of them I haven't seen in 5 years. When I see them, it'll be the day after the last time I
Yep.
saw them. It's great. And nobody gets mad if somebody doesn't call them. They just make fun of them in front of everybody.
Yep.
And that's the way it is. The last time comment, though, I think all of us don't take that. We take it for granted in such a huge way. So I've been blessed to go on all these surf trips. And I've gone with Sal Rapero a lot. And every time we get down there, we always kind of talk to ourselves the last couple of days, like, man, enjoy these last 2 days. we don't know if we're ever going to get back here again.
Yep.
This might be the last time we ever stand here and get to go surfing. And every once in a while, somebody will come that's new on the trip. And they'll go, is it always like this? And we go, no, it's always different. But the one thing that we always tell everybody is enjoy every second of it, because you don't know if you're ever coming back here again.
Yep.
I mean, you think, oh, I'll be back here in 6 months. I'll be back here in a year. It might be 2 years before you get to go back down there again for all kinds of various and sundry reasons. So we tell everybody, enjoy everything you're doing while you're doing it, because like you said, it might be the last time.
Yeah.
This could be the last show with Levi.
It's not going to be the
Don't say
last show with me.
Okay.
Unless Mike gets rid of me.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You're not pregnant. You can stay on work. I'm kidding.
PTSD.
I would never fire Amanda for that.
I
Give
mean,
her all the emotional support she needs.
he says that now that I have no uterus.
So why do you think the numbers have changed so much?
Well, I think some of it, and tell me if you're right, I think the biggest difference in 31 years is cell phone usage.
Yep. I was going to say the same thing.
I think everyone, I don't think it's just men. I think it's kids, and I think they're struggling with it harder than men are. But it's really easy to sit on that phone and just scroll for a couple hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to waste your day on your phone.
Mhm.
And so while you're wasting your day on your phone, you're not reaching out to your friends, you're not talking to your friends, you're not texting your friends, you're not going and doing things with your friends.
Mhm.
The other one I think is probably just as bad. But if you're playing Call of Duty, how many guys can you get on Call of Duty in a game?
4.
Okay. So you're going to play Call of Duty for how long on a normal time? Hour, 2 hours?
Yep.
That's 4 guys.
But sometimes we'll sit in chat with 8 guys.
Yes.
And 4 guys will be playing in one game and you'll be playing in your other game. And then you'll mute up for your game. And then when everyone's on downtime, they all enter the chat again.
Okay. So that's a little bit different, right? And I think that's a very, very different thing. But I think a lot of it is the distractions that we have with phones more so than anything else. And I think people work really hard today. I think, work never stops the day.
Yeah.
40 years ago, when I came in the office, when you left the office and got in your truck, you were alone.
Yep.
You had the radio, but that was it. No one was going to call you. No one was going to text you. No one was going to email you. That was the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're working till whenever somebody wants to call, text you, or email you.
Yep.
It doesn't ever stop. And I've got friends who are nighttime workers. I am not. Right? 8 o'clock at night, I'm pretty much done. If it's an emergency, I'll answer your call or your text, but I'm pretty much done. I get up at 5 in the morning. So my response is, if you text me or email me something at 11 o'clock at night, at 5:20 when I get up in the morning, I will reply back to you.
Yep.
Just that one of those people, their spouse told them, your phone's going off. Yeah, I made the mistake of texting Mike at 11 o'clock last night. That's him responding. Does he know it's 5 a.m.? He knows it's 5 a.m., right?
Yeah,
so
he
that's
does.
kind of but I think that's the biggest problem is we don't allocate enough time for friendships now.
Yeah.
I think that's going to change in the coming years. I think that with AI, I think a lot of jobs are going to be replaced, man. I think that we're going to have a lot more free time to be creative. I don't know how that's going to look financially. I don't know if there's going to be a UBI implemented or what it's going to look like, but all these jobs that don't require critical thinking are going to be replaced by robots.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. It's happening. And
You mean like lawyers?
yeah, I mean,
The legal profession is one that to me is in the crosshair and
Big
doesn't
time.
realize it yet.
Big time. Chat GPT has been proven over and over again to be more competent than the best lawyers, just because of the access to data it has to look at case law. So
I'm just telling you, the lawyers or legislators, if they pass a law first to protect workers, mark my words, lawyers will be the first class protected from AI. You will not be able to use AI in a courtroom. Trust me, they write the laws. The lawyers are the ones that are mostly in the legislatures. Once they see this happening, they will start protecting themselves.
probably. That makes sense.
I'm just calling it.
But they're also, I mean, you can pay, like, lawyers charge crazy fees. Good lawyers, good
Yep.
corporate lawyers charge crazy fees hourly. And they've done tests where they've put the best corporate lawyers in the world up against ChatGPT, and ChatGPT smokes them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in this study, they have a chart that says women receive more emotional support from their friends than men.
That's not shocking.
I don't know. I think I think
I think it just looks different.
Yeah.
I
was
think
about
it
to say the
looks
same
different
thing.
for men than it does for women.
Yep.
So I think that this is a skewed study that is seeing friendship and seeing emotional support from a female perspective. I don't think emotional support looks the same for all genders.
All right, so let me ask both of you questions then, because this chart, when I first looked at it, I was like, I disagree with it. As I'm looking into it, I'm not sure I disagree with it as much as I initially did, right? So the question is, received emotional support from a friend, right? Recently, I'm going to say this is, so in the last few months, did you receive emotional support? 20% said they received emotional support. What percentage of women, Amanda, do you think said they received emotional support from a friend?
From a friend?
Yeah.
Probably 83%.
So 40%.
Okay.
So immediately Amanda thinks the test is bogus because 83% of women would support someone emotionally. No, so to me, it doesn't shock me a lot. I mean, I think women will talk about feelings a lot more than men will talk about feelings. I mean, a man talking about feelings is, Levi, can you help me will you spot me? I'm getting ready to do the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
That is an emotional connection
100%.
between Levi and I in a gym, and we're bros.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes. Now, until I know him really well, I'm not going to ask him to drive me to the airport, though. That is a whole nother level of. So the next one is told a friend you love them. So 23% of men had told another man that they love them.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda, what percentage of women do you think?
I'll say 45%.
45%.
Mm-hmm.
You got a guess?
40.
It's right at 48. You guys are both right in the right range. Which I tend, if I love somebody, I tell them, hey, I love you. I feel like life's too short. We talked about that. When you're going to be here again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want people to ever wonder, did Mike like me or not like me? I want him to know, right? Tim O'Neill, I love you, buddy. I know you're watching. Just want to let you know. You're not one of those guys I don't love, Tim. But no, for me, that's always been a thing that I felt like if you feel someone has done something important, let them know, because once you're gone, you don't get a chance.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the only time you can validate them and say, hey, I really appreciate that. Last one is shared problems or feelings with a friend. And I think men were at a disadvantage at this because we don't have as many feelings as women.
Correct.
So we're already at a disadvantage in this question. So women were at about 46%, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
So what percentage of men do you think shared a problem with a friend recently?
Women are at 46%?
Yeah.
I'll say men are at 19.
Levi?
Ooh, probably 10%.
30%.
All right.
Now, I want to know what the next question in this survey was.
Moving
Hang on.
a problem?
Wait a minute.
I mean, that's the very male, I'll ask for help with that problem. Like,
How many?
I
What
want to know
constitutes a
what
problem?
percentage of this 30% shared a problem with a friend, but the problem involved a woman.
Touche.
That's what I
75%.
I'm saying 112% out of this 30% it was about a woman, because all the other problems can be solved.
Yeah.
Men can solve those. We can't solve dealing with women.
I sent this amazing scene from like classic Roseanne from probably mid 90s. And it's just a great scene where like this young husband is like, I was completely right. And she was completely wrong. And Roseanne's like, that doesn't matter. She's like, it's your job as the husband to apologize. And he's like, but I was completely right. And Dan Connor leans in and he's like, that doesn't matter. He's like, but she was completely wrong. Like, she should apologize. Dan Connor leans in, it doesn't matter. And he's like, well, fine then. I guess I'll go apologize to her and I'll just know that I was right. And Dan looks at him and he's like, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the long way of saying what men will say. Buddy, Levi, you're having a problem. Yeah, I am. And I was right. Yeah, Levi, I think you were right. But you have a choice right now, Levi. You can be right or you can be happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You pick. Can't be both. You pick. The other one in here is something we talked about. It's showing graphs of internet hours skyrocketing from 2006 that we use every day. Sleep decreasing, right? The average sleep for everyone. In-person social interactions cratering.
Oh, yeah.
And happiness cratering.
Yeah.
Which I think that's why Levi's right, and you're going to see less phone time in the future. Because people are starting to put together, I'm on this thing, but I'm not happy being on this thing. And there's a whole lot more stuff to do. I mean, at my age, I'm like, there's things I want to do outside. There's places I want to go see. There's stuff I want to go do. I'm not 95 yet where I can't go do them and I'll have to watch them on the phone. So I want to go do this stuff now. So
I love social events.
Yeah. 100%.
Humans are creatures of social interaction.
Yeah. Well, you're seeing also that millennials like way overshared everything about our lives, including, pictures of our children, pictures of our family, because
breakfast, lunch,
when Facebook,
dinner.
yes, everything. Because when Facebook started, it was private. Only the people that you allowed into your circle could see it. And once that changed and your information became public knowledge, Mike's about to die. Sorry. Sorry, Mike.
I know, gosh.
Well, that realization came slow. And what you're seeing is that the Zoomers are just not sharing about their life in the same way, outside of the ones trying to be influencers, and they overshare everything. But when it comes to like family events, travel, children, babies, like their faces are covered. Like you'll see the newborn picture, and then once they start to look like an individual and not like a newborn,
graduation.
Yeah, you'll see those two, and all the rest of them, there's a sticker over the kid's face. Like younger people just aren't sharing normal younger people, not trying to be influencers, aren't sharing everything about their lives.
I post every day. I post this show every day. You would have to go way back through my feed to find something that I post that wasn't this show.
Oh, you never post anything.
I just occasionally.
I wasn't even sure if we were friends on Facebook because I never see you.
We're not. Just kidding. When you throw softballs like
Hi,
that.
you're my friend on Facebook.
I'll fix that tonight. Levi, can you show me how to get rid of a friend? Because I don't know how.
Look at this. See, we're friends. It's right there for everyone to see.
I can show you how to unfollow her without even unfriending her.
Oh, this is awesome. I love this.
I'm trying to find your last, just regular post.
You got to go back about a year probably.
The last post.
Usually it's a post about an anniversary or something that has happened that's a big deal. If you see me posting
Still
something
scrolling.
other than that.
So speaking of friends,
Yes.
did you guys watch the Donald Trump and Elon Musk interview last night?
I watched the highlights from it.
Okay. You didn't watch the whole thing.
And I emailed the highlights to my sister, who is on the same political level as me.
Yep.
As far as loving Trump and loving it. Some of the comments, though, were great. So pick one and roll.
All I was going to say was that throughout the entire interview, they look like two peas in a pod.
They were two bros having a great time.
Yep.
And I had a question here, and it kind of rolled into it. I think a lot of the difference between Trump in 2016 and 2025 or 2017 when he was sworn in, right? And 2025 is he had 4 years to plan what he was going to do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And along the end of his plans rolls up, let's just say he's Butch Cassidy. Up rolls the Sundance Kid.
Yep.
And all of a sudden he's like, hey, I've been thinking about this too. And if you do this, 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 and this, I can find this, 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 and for you. And all of a sudden, Trump found the ally he needed to go. So Donald Trump is not a tech guy.
Yep.
And one of the best quotes in the interview was he was crediting Musk with being smart, and he has all these really smart guys that can do all this stuff. And he says, but they all dress worse than him.
Yeah.
They don't wear a tie. They don't wear a coat. They're wearing T-shirts and tennis shoes. And Musk is laughing. He's like, yeah, they do dress worse than me.
I thought.
So that's how long it took for me to find a post that you just posted to social media that didn't have to do with this show.
What year was it?
And wasn't someone tagging. It was October 4th, 2024.
Yeah.
And it was them moving animals at the alligator farm. It's right there.
That was it. That was a good post.
So
Yes, I thought it was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but
Yeah,
it was
moving dinosaurs.
So what I thought Trump's best, for me personally, was I thought it was a compliment to Elon, right? He goes, this time around, I knew I needed smarter people around me. So before I continue with this, I just want to say that doing the presidency for the first time is probably like playing the hardest level of a video game for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time around, you know different things. And you know like who needs to be in your corner, which direction you need to go. Same thing with him. He spoke about it on Joe Rogan. He said the biggest thing, my biggest hurdle was I didn't know how many positions I had to appoint, and I listened to people around me that didn't give the best advice. So he said, this time around going into presidency, I knew I needed someone that was smarter than me around me. And he said, I searched for someone smarter than Elon. I looked for someone smarter than Elon. I couldn't find him. That's what he said. And he goes, I give him credit where credit is due. He's the smartest person that I've ever known, and I wanted him around me. And so I thought that was the best quote of the interview personally, because I do the same thing. Like, I'm not the person that goes, oh, I'm the smartest person in the room. I want to find someone smarter than me and learn from them.
Right. So let me help you with the analogy, because you almost were all the way there on the video game analogy.
Okay.
And once I start, you're going to continue and finish this for me, because you know video games a lot better than I do, right? So the first thing they did is they told Donald Trump, you're going to play a game, right? We're going to play Call of Duty, video game. I'm giving you 3 guys, right? Those 3 guys were in talks with the other 4 guys they were playing against.
Yep.
And the whole goal was to get Trump.
Yep.
So he was playing 1 against 7 and didn't know the 3 guys on his team were actually talking to the other 2. That's the first thing. Then they were playing on a PlayStation and they gave him a Nintendo controller.
Yep.
They did not even give him a controller that would allow him to run the game. It wasn't even plugged in. So what else am I missing in the...
No, that's spot on.
Okay.
That's spot on.
That's exactly what Trump was up against.
That's a parenting hack, by the way. If you're trying to play a video game, getting a high score, give your kid a controller and just don't plug it in.
Yeah.
You have to make it look believable. It has to be like where it's supposed to be, but don't plug it in and then you're fine.
I'm going to tell you that the kids, when they were growing up, they were great at video games. And when we
toddlers.
When we first got a game, I only had like the first 3 days.
Yeah.
And I was better at the sports games than the shooter games with them. And the funniest game, I like Madden. I would beat them at Madden the first couple days so they had that game down. And literally, I would just call the bomb every single play. Whatever, 3 receivers on a fly and just chuck it. And they're like, you're not even running an offense. I said, I'm running an offense you can't stop.
That's funny.
And they figure out the defense.
Yeah.
And that would be the end of it. Like I said, I'd last a little bit. The only other game I was good at was Tiger Woods golf. And
the new Tiger Woods comes out soon.
We would play on the TPC course or we'd play on the Masters course.
Nice.
And they're like, how do you know this course so well? I said, I've been watching these tournaments my whole life.
Yeah.
I can tell you the whole layout of almost every one of these holes and which way the green breaks and all that and where the flag should be on this day that we're playing. I said,
nice.
I've watched a lot of golf. Doesn't mean I'm very good at it. Putted the ball off the green multiple times.
But you memorize things.
But I knew the golf course. I knew the golf course. So yeah, they never gave Trump a chance last time.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Trump came in this time and didn't give him a chance. So to me, when I talk about the difference 2017 to 2024 is or 25 is all the stories out of the first month to 2 months was how dysfunctional Trump's White House is.
Yeah.
That was all the storyline. He's a Russian spy and it's dysfunctional and he's too stupid to run it.
Zelensky just tried to call him a Russian spy again today.
Yeah.
I think he got smacked down today. I haven't read the headlines or the stories, but Chuck Schumer said that Donald Trump was betraying the country. Someone else wrote a headline that Ronald Reagan's party was giving away Ukraine.
Didn't Trump call Zelensky a gangster or something?
Yeah, he called him something
tyrant?
like that. Yeah.
He hasn't had an election since.
Yeah, a dictator with no elections.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So here's the thing. He's using that to put pressure on him. He's isolating Zelensky. Trump's going to come up with a deal. I think it's going to be a good deal for America. How good a deal it is for the Ukraine, I'm not sure. If Europe wanted a better deal, Europe should have been more involved.
Yeah.
Right now, Europe has been relying on us to do all of their work, and it's so. But anyway, I think Trump hit the ground running so hard, so fast this time. The Democrats don't know what hit them. They have no idea. The media doesn't know. And then when 60 Minutes continues to step all over themselves with stupid interviews and stupid questions.
Right.
Oh my word. It's terrible.
So this is some stats from Doge, right?
Okay.
That an individual posted and kind of went on a little tirade, but I'm just going to give out the stats real quick.
Yep.
Says the U.S. Treasury couldn't track 4.7 trillion in payments. Medicare sent 2.7 trillion overseas to people that weren't eligible. The Pentagon lost track of 2.5 trillion. Social Security sent 100 billion a year to people with no identity. The Department of Education spent 50 billion a year to make kids gay. USAID spent 50 billion a year to make everyone else that. There's over a third of the national debt right there, and it's only been 3 weeks. This is blatant fraud, and liberals are defending this. They say nobody voted for Elon and Doge. This person goes, the F I didn't. This is exactly what I voted for. I want my damn money back. I want to see some damn perps walk. and I want this to never happen again. Take accountability.
Yeah.
When I thought Musk's answer, it was either in the interview last night or it was the day before, where he was asked about why this was all important. And he said, Donald Trump's the president. He's elected by the people.
Yes.
He appointed me to do what he said he was going to do, which is the will of the people. They elected him to get this done. We are fighting a bureaucracy of unelected people. So either the United States is run by a bureaucracy of unelected people or run by a democracy.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is the head of that democracy.
Yep.
And I thought that was just a phenomenal answer by you.
Yeah. I agree. I'm drawing a blank now, but he said something else that caught my eye too, that went hand in hand with that. Now I can't remember what it is. So good job, Levi.
Speaking of America being awesome again, the U.S. hockey team and Canada over the weekend was absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
The Canadians booed the national anthem.
Yep.
And I don't know if you know the reference, the Hanson brothers.
I don't.
So there was a movie in the 1970s. I don't even think Amanda knows. This is way before her. Paul Newman played in it. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the name of the movie. Slapstick was the name of the movie. And Paul Newman was an aging hockey player, coach of the team, and the team was going to go under. And he knew they were going to go under. So he started a rumor they were going to move to Florida to get fans to show up. And then he went out and he hired these three brothers.
I have heard about
the Hanson
Slapshot.
brothers. And the Hanson brothers were the roughest, nastiest guys. They would start a fight before the referees were even out there. Right? One time the refs come out and there's already everybody's out of their uniform, just all the players bench cleared, and they are trying to figure out who started it, right? So when those three fights hit, all the old school guys like me are like, the Hanson brothers are playing for America. So I hope they win Thursday night. We got a rematch.
They took their last game off against Sweden because I lost a lot of money on that game.
Why'd you bet on that game?
I bet on the game because I've followed sports writers, which I should never do, and I know I should never do that. And then the U.S. hockey team sits all their starters like 16 minutes into the game. And I'm like, cool.
Awesome.
Well, I thought, playing in Boston, being at home, they were going to try to put a show on for the fans. They came out, they scored a goal in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, they're up 1-0. This is looking good.
Yeah.
And then they just sit all the starters. And I'm like, cool.
On another sports ball question, how good is the University of Florida's basketball
They're the best team in the country.
How good?
They're the best team in the country in the best basketball conference ever in my lifetime since 1990, which is absolutely wild. But the SEC this year is the toughest basketball conference I've ever seen. And UF is running it. 9
teams in the top 24.
Yep.
And talking to my sports ball guy, Reese, he said, Dad, we might get 13 teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Out of a field of 68.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. Sorry, Bobby, the Wolfpack's not good this year.
Kentucky plays Missouri tonight.
Yeah, and then Reese has said there's a couple of guys at UF. I guess there's a guy that got hurt, was going to be medical redshirted. And because another guy got hurt on the team, was going to be out for a couple of key games, he burned the medical red shirt. He hadn't been playing all year, and then comes in and plays an amazing game.
Yep.
That Florida's got 10 deep.
They blew Oklahoma out last night.
Turned the game on, saw that it was, up by a couple of points with a few minutes gone in the game, turned it off, went and did a bunch of stuff. About 30 minutes later, I turned it back on to find the announcers saying, well, they've got 3 minutes to get back in this game or it's over.
Yeah.
They were down almost 20 with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Florida's phenomenal.
Yes.
They are my pick to win the tournament. Yeah, I mean, Auburn's good. Alabama's good. Alabama has a tough game tonight. Alabama plays, I think Kentucky plays Vanderbilt.
Yep.
And Alabama plays at Mizzou. I mess those up. But Alabama is number 2 in the country, and they're an underdog at number 15, which never happens.
No. And I still think Duke's a dark horse.
Duke, so here's my thing with Duke, right? Duke, the ACC, which used to be the powerhouse conference for basketball, is not a powerhouse conference at all. They're actually bottom of the poll. Duke has 2 great freshmen. Outside of that, they lack scoring heavily. If Duke was in the SEC this year, I think Duke would be middle of the pack.
So I'm not going to disagree with you because of the strength of that, but I think it all depends on how the seeding rolls out and who Duke has to play. If Duke has to get through 3 SEC schools,
they're screwed.
They're toast. if they get a path that doesn't happen, whether there's an upset and they don't have to play an SEC school, they're playing somebody else, I think Duke can go deep. So I agree with you. It would not surprise me if there were, what's the most a conference has ever had is maybe 2 or 3 in the final. It would not surprise me if there's 4 SEC teams in the final.
I would love that.
It would not. 3 is a good, probably 2 is very probable.
And that's what's crazy about NIL is because the SEC had no basketball teams. I mean, they were getting all right, but all these schools that have a lot of NIL money from football were able to kind of share that with basketball. And all the SEC teams are NIL deals.
Yeah.
They all are. Florida's entire roster is NIL. So
can't blame them. They're making money.
Can't blame them.
All right. Tomorrow morning, the morning show is on. Pete Melfi is busting his rear end trying to get ready for Florida Man games.
Yep.
Davey and Troy and Ricky and everyone else are holding it down, doing an amazing job. I heard Troy actually said a sentence with 4 words in it today.
Nice.
So tomorrow, tune in and see if he can get to 5 words in one
his
sentence.
record.
Yes. It's driving Davey nuts. Then there's the afternoon show, and then the Bollocks Boys will be in tomorrow night. We got some trivia going. You guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, y'all take care.
Bye.